Today, we're here on ancestral lands and indigenous coasts of Salish peoples. What better way to kick things off this day than with a traditional coast Salish song and blessing. Please welcome Hannah Zollner and the students of the Lummi Youth Academy.
Asiam, Nistrelicha Siam, Haichka, Tequinas, and Atachel, Iungus, Tethai, Ashkolquin, Laloet, Senasnat, Chashesh, Wakolach, Siam. Dear friends and relatives, first of all, welcome to the home of Chief Siam. Thank you for coming here and bringing your good feelings. I am Hannah, and we are survivors of the flood. If I can kindly ask you to please stay arise at this time as we sing our Salish anthem, Haishka.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Lummi Nation. This is Lummi Nation News for Friday, April 5th, 2013. I'm Henry Hillaire. Thanks for joining us. You're watching almost live coverage of We Day at Key Arena in Seattle, where our Lummi Youth Academy students, including Johnny and Sunshine Bob, hosted opening ceremonies with the survivors of the flood song. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll came to the green room and personally thanked the Lummi Youth Academy students for participating in the 2013 We Day. This was the first We Day event held in the United States, and the students were moved by the scale and grandeur of the festivities. The students' participation was made possible by Lummi Youth Academy founder and tribal treasurer Darrell, who sat with us for this week's Treasurer's Report along with CFO Brian Genge.
Yeah, I still very much connected with Lummi Youth Academy, so when opportunities are presented for Lummi to put its name out there, put itself out there, I often include the Youth Academy. On this day, We Day, which was last Wednesday, they went and sang the flood song for 15,000 people. And Hannah Zollner, alumni of the Lummi Youth Academy, she did the formal welcome of all people. Beautiful day. Yeah, really proud of the students and Hannah for what they did that day and put us up there with everybody else as somebody to be recognized and honored. So that was very good. But back to business, here at home at the Treasurer's office, Brian and I have been working together now since the 1st of November. We do have a financial plan that we work from. Most importantly, we were working on Title 28 and those revisions that the General Council's recommending that we make, as well as LCC as we transition out of our partnership with Merit. That's going to require us to understand how the money's going to flow from the casino to LIBC, make sure that's clear and understood. And then working with some of the policy analysts here, Leonard and Rita, on their recommendations and how Title 28 needs to be executed, if you will. But for Brian and myself, we're just thinking, well, why don't we fully use the one we got now? Maybe that's what we need to do. Because there's such high turnover in political offices, we really don't hit a good stride with the implementation of Title 28. So we have to stand back for that and say, well, what's missing? And so Title 28 is important. Silver Reef Casino transition from a partnership into sole ownership by the Lummi tribe is really important. And in the financial plan, we also have investments. Lummi's making enough money now where we can set money aside for the future, for whatever that might be, scholarships, land. Maybe there's always that voice, well, what about per capita? Well, if we're going to do any of those things, we need to have a savings. So we're hiring financial advisors to help us work towards that end, And then finally, medical billing, Medicaid, and all of the complications around the Medicaid audit, and setting up a good billing system for all of the medical services that we provide to the tribe, and getting that in place and fully functioning is going to be a big challenge this year. But it seems to be on the right footing right now with the people that they've hired. So I'd like to have Brian speak to that now, as well as some of the capital improvements that we're making here at Lummi.
Thank you, Darrell. So one of the big things we've been trying to focus on this year is building sustainability into our health delivery models. Sustainability is getting sufficient resources to provide the program services that are necessary to support the community and all of its health services needs. And one of the big ways for that is to generate resources from we call third-party billing, which is billing for services that we are entitled, whether it's insurance or Medicaid. And so really expanding that capacity and capability is going to allow us to generate additional resources to be able to expand and hopefully try to finally meet the needs of the community that have never been fully met. We've worked with a few tribes over the last year who have been successful at these models and have learned some good methods and techniques on how we can maximize our resources that way. In conjunction with the Affordable Health Care Act, it's going to be vitally important for us to really have our game plan fully designed and implemented this year, so that we can really maximize and really start to generate those resources to be able to expand our services to the community. So that's one of our top priorities this year, and it's starting to take place now as we've expanded some of our capacity for billing and administrative management. So that's kind of the big focus on that area. As we alluded to, also the LIBC has been embarking on some large capital projects, of which I'm sure you've seen are going on. One is the Silver Reef expansion, is slated to open on May 9th. So that should be exciting to continue the success, hopefully continue the success that the casino has over the last 11 years. Have been truly amazing. We've been very fortunate up in this part of the country to have had that success. And we hope to continue that recipe that we've been enjoying for so long. In addition to the LIBC itself is hopefully having completion its new administration center May-ish, hopefully, and moving in sometime in May, maybe early June, we'll see, and hopefully to really centralize and coordinate the delivery of our services and to develop a more efficient delivery model for the LIBC organization itself is a kind of thing. and plus help for a lot of people who have been working in some very old buildings that have potentially been health hazards. That'll be a good benefit to the employees also. Another big project is the Head Start daycare facility that is slated to be completed in August in time for the next school year. That's going to be substantial to help, very important to deliver the support services for the youth going up in their very important stages of their lives, and provide support to the families of the Lummi Nation. And then also, again, expanding on the youth services, another big project that we're working on getting the necessary resources to move forward on is the Youth Wellness Center that we're really looking forward to partner with a couple organizations to help us really develop that project out in the next 1 to 2 years, hopefully, and maybe sooner, depending on how things go. But we're really looking to expand on that with news by the end of the summer. So that's some of the big projects that we've got going on now and that we've completed, and we're looking to build upon the success of the Lummi Nation that we've achieved over the last few years.
With that, we are also making plans to develop full master plans for Fisherman's Cove, and there's some renovation going on down there now. Boat storage and marina very much on our mind, and actually connecting that whole area into one village concept between Mackenzie and the waterfront. That's one master plan. Quina Road with LIBC and its new tribal office, with all of those apartments that Diana's putting up at housing, and the college with its capital improvements going on there. They're going to have the Kosage Institute, a library, some more administrative offices going up. There's going to be a substantial amount of people on Quina Road. We need to have a village concept developed for what we're doing on Quina Road too. You know, what might be a grocery store, a laundromat, a better transportation hub. Those things that bring us together were very much on our mind. And then up on Slider Road with our purchase of property on I-5 and the expansion of the casino, that needs a plan also, because it's going to require partnerships with Ferndale and Bellingham, Whatcom County, Department of Transportation, and then making sure that the casino staff and employees work with whatever does come down the pike for I-5, that it all complements each other. So that's big on our minds, that master planning effort for those areas, and then that informing how we spend our money, how we strategize over getting all three done in some kind of fashion over the next 20 years. So pretty excited about that. Plus, we're looking at our history, and myself and the Lummi Youth Academy are developing a play scheduled for June 1st called What About Those Promises? And it's a story about treaty signing, the promises made at treaty signing, the promises broken and reminded by our elders to the United States government that these promises are not being kept. And then in 1951 to 1974, when our grandparents and parents took up that fight and said, well, you know, we really haven't been compensated for what you said you were going to compensate us for at treaty signing. The United States government gave us $57,000, and we told them to go to hell. And it still sits there today, and I think it needs to be brought back into the community so they know that, yeah, we have legitimate claims for those promises that were not kept. So that's us for this update. Hope to see you soon.
And a bit of good news for the Lummi Nation. The Culvert case has been in litigation with the state of Washington in the 9th District Federal Court in Seattle. Chairman Tim Ballew II and LNRC Chair Elden Hillaire are pleased that the courts have sided with Lummi Nation. The Culvert dispute is a case that highlights salmon habitat and migration, where road construction throughout Washington state is obstructing the migratory pattern and stops salmon from reaching their spawning grounds in the river deltas throughout the Northwest.
Greetings to the General Council members and the Salish Sea community, Lummi community members. First and foremost, we would like to take the time out to send our condolences and prayers to the families in loss and mourning. And yes, as you said, that there was a recent ruling on what's been known as the Culvert case. It can be talked of as a win, it can be talked of as a validation of something we've already known, and really that's what it is. You know, we've been taught from our elders and our leaders and past leaders that we need to protect our resources and we need to protect our environment, and we've known that, and we know that because we borrow our resources from our children and grandchildren, and for our way of life to move on, we need habitat that protects and is available to our salmon and our wildlife. And that's really what the court case is saying that, yes, habitat needs to be protected. It needs to be protected sooner than later. And we'd like to thank Chairman Elden Hillaire of the Fish Commission and Merle Jefferson of Natural Resources and all of our natural resource employees and commissioners for the hard work that's been, you know, long coming. This ruling's been long overdue, and we've had a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into this, and it's been all for the better. And now we can really move on. We've already been moving in this direction, and the courts basically said it's time to start the work.
Thank you, Chairman Ballew and Fred, for taking the time. And you know, you're correct that it really validates what the tribes have been saying for generations, that Mother Earth is the protector of all living things, and when you harm her, you harm all the other cycles of life as well. And when you cut back on your fishing, but they have no home to come home to and spawn, you know, it's been hard for all of our communities as we cut back to try to recover salmon, but you have no habitat for them to return in. So this is, you know, a long time coming to validate what we as First Nations people already know, you know, because it's the way we're brought up. We protect all surrounding us. So, you know, you're absolutely correct. And, you know, with the judges' help now, we're going to help the state of Washington, you know, prioritize those fixes. And the judge sided with us in our time frame, which was 17 years to fix all these culverts that are blocking fish passages, and the state wanted 50 years, you know, and they feel that it might hurt the economy of Washington State, but in our eyes, it'll help all of us, you know, because the state of Washington was a thriving fishing industry state, and it can be again in the future, and even in our time, you know, our lifetime, we've seen it, so we know it's possible. So, you know, really been gloating for about a week now since this decision came out, because it's been 3 years that the judge has been waiting for coming with a judgment, you know. And that last day we were in court in 2009, he asked the state of Washington, well, who's going to go to jail if you guys don't, you know, you don't follow his decision? So it took him a long time to really figure out where he wanted to come with this. And, you know, there's a lot of other issues that need to be worked out because the state legislation has to fund it now. So that's going to mean them reflecting back on where their priorities are as well to be in compliance with a court order. So it's a good decision, a step in the right direction. There's, you know, they still got the wildlife and gathering case that the tribes are working on too as well. So, you know, hopefully we'll be moving forward now that our lawyers don't have to be working on the Culvert case now. So, you know, it's just solidifying what we know, what we have in our treaty, and, you know, what we've expected when our ancestors signed that treaty. So I'm pleased.
Well, again, thanking the Fish Commission and Natural Resource employees and everyone who's had a part in bringing us to where we are today so that we can continue our work for the people. Our hands go out to all those who were involved. It's as far as what we have coming up in the next week and month, there was a General Council meeting scheduled for April 10th due to some of the most recent occurrences and happenings in the community, really to be, it just for the best interest of the GC, we're going to postpone the 10th meeting and push back the date till April 17th. In the meantime, we do know that there's a Lummi Youth Tournament coming up on the 12th and 14th. We look forward to watching the kids play basketball and inviting other communities and other tribes to come forward and spend some time with us on the basketball court. We look forward to that. April 11th through 14th, we have the Rising Above Conference. Doug James and company have really put some time and effort into that, and we look forward to spending some time as a community to get together at that event. And as I said, the General Council meeting has been postponed until April 17th. Coming up in May 1st is the tentative move-in date for the new admin building, and we're thinking sometime around late May, early June, we'll have the actual grand opening, and everyone will be moved in, and all of our service providers to our community will be up and running and in place by early June. So we'll have a grand opening for the community sometime around there. And we just look forward to working with the people and working for the people. ACM.
On Quina Road, there's a lot of construction and development with the new Tribal Center and Lummi's Northwest Indian College campus. Spring quarter began on April 1st. Northwest Indian College campus is continuing to grow and to expand their master plan that includes the new Coast Salish Institute and a brand new library, according to Dave Oreiro, Vice President for Campus Development.
You know, it's always nice to be a planner in a project like this where we have a new campus for Native American students to go to. And, you know, we're no longer just a mobile home campus where our buildings came in on wheels. We have real buildings now. So it's really nice to work in a place like that. And as you can see, some of the buildings behind me, you know, we've been working very hard on what we call the South Campus on the old Quina property. And we're building our new buildings, and we've got the Center for Student Success behind me, and we also have the Environmental Science Lab, and behind that we have the Child Care Center and our Student Housing Project. And farther over here to the west we have our new Science Lab, and you'll see the new walls going up on the new Library Technology Building, something that we hope to see done in about 300 days. So we're building our new campus and hope that we can serve all the Native students and the tribes in the Northwest. We had to do some real tough fundraising here, and we're real lucky that the Lummi Nation was able to come through with some money so we could finish these buildings. They helped us finish the funding for the library and the Coast Salish Institute. So we're real lucky to have a tribe that's really supportive of our college and what's going on here, and to help the students out, that even if they're not Lummis. So that's really a good thing for us. This whole idea of the college campus was actually based on a village concept, and so we're trying to make this a really good place to be, and being able to get a hold of the Quina property, and real thankful that the Quina family was able to give up this important piece of property for us so we can build a new community, a new college, and also the new tribal offices that are going down the road, and then also the apartments that the housing authority is putting up. So it's been a really good opportunity for us to develop this area. So there's some planning going on in the Quina corridor, and we're an important key to that, and so is the tribe. So we hope to keep going really strong in that area. We have our 3 bachelor's degrees now at Northwest Indian College, and so we're no longer just a community college, and we'd like to invite all of our old students who were AAS graduates to come back to Northwest Indian College to get that 4-year degree and move forward, and then maybe look at a master's degree someday. Our students have the capability to do all this stuff and move forward. And I never say come back to school, I say go forward with school. So that's one of the things that we really want to emphasize out there, is that as our school gets bigger, as we add more 4-year programs, that we're really a viable higher education institution. We want everyone to come out and support our fundraising program. I think our focus this year is scholarships directly to our students, and so I think that's going to be a really great event. We've got lots of art coming out. I'd like to see some more. I'd like to see as many tribal members and folks who are willing to put out some money to really help a good cause like that.
Quina Road looks like the future downtown Lummi Nation, as we've got NWIC expansions to the South Campus, the new Tribal Center is expecting to open in May, and also Lummi Housing is working to expand the Quina Village apartments directly across the Lummi Health Center. Housing Director Diana Phair gave us a few moments to share the many developments happening around the Lummi Res.
Yes, we do. We got some clearing going on here. This is our phase 2 of our Quina Village. We plan on getting the infrastructure in. This project is funded by ICBG, which is the Indian Community Development Block Grant that we received from HUD last year in the amount of $500,000, and it's going to be matched with NAHASDA funding for $225,000 for a total project dollar of $725,000, which will put the roads and the infrastructure in, sidewalks, curbs, and stuff that you see here in the first phase. And we're planning on putting 11 buildings in here. Hopefully in 2014, we got another grant in to the Housing Trust Fund for $2.5 million, which is in conjunction with NAHAS, that hopefully enough money to get these 66 apartments are going to be expanded on the 4 acres. The Northwest Indian College was generous enough to give us 4 more acres. We kind of have an agreement with the Northwest Indian College. We kind of let them rent a couple of our buildings to house some of the students going to college, and it's kind of a win-win for the whole community. And so this is, like, we call it phase 2. We just had a pre-bid meeting this morning with the contractors, and we plan on the infrastructure starting around the first week of May and taking about 90 days to complete. And then the projects are just going to sit with no buildings until probably spring of May of 2014. And then I know if you guys haven't heard, we have opened up our McKinsey Gymnasium, which was funded under ICBG 2011 grant. And the rest of it was funded out of NAHASDA that we get annually from the HUD government. And so it's running around 86 kids a night. It's fully up and operational. And then if we ever get back, like maybe next month, I'll bring Fred back to our next development that we have. And we have 30 lots up there, fully developed, water, sewer, roads. And we're starting our construction on April 15th for 16 home ownership homes. And those are going to be done, that project's going to be done with us being the general force account, just like these were built, and hopefully get, a good crew of workers as they start to slow down from the admin building construction and the casino, hoping to get our tribal members to work and let them work for the next year until this project gets off the ground.
Wonderful. And then if anyone has any questions or want to come down and visit you and apply for housing?
Yep, they come down to the housing. We're down in the corner. We're not going in the admin building. We're going to stay where we are, 2828 Quina. And the person to see the intake is Roberta Hall. And if you're looking for a job or you're looking for a labor or construction, you would also see Roberta, fill the application out with Roberta for construction. And they'll make sure that our construction guys get them. They're located up in the back of McKinsey. But feel free to go back and visit them. They're in a job shack up there. And then the phone number down at housing, the contact number is the same area code, 360-312-8407.
All right. Thank you, Diana.
As spring and summer approaches, you'll be seeing more and more events happening around the Res, including the Traditional Foods grand opening slated for Thursday, April 18th at the Old Lummi Gym. Lummi Community Services, aka the Commod Squad, is welcoming tribal members to sign up for a home garden. They've got the workers to come rototill your garden, and they'll even throw in free seeds, according to Elaine, Director of Lummi Community Services.
Hello, everyone. We still have Citgo Energy Assistance for households who have not yet received. Just come on in and check it out and fill out an application. Also, we have Nutrition Ed, which is beginning on April 15th of this year. And we're going to start out with April 18th. We're going to have a grand opening, our 5th annual nutrition education program. And we're going to be honoring our traditional seafoods. And we're celebrating our way of life for generations of the past and passing it on to future generations. We want to show the importance of our seafood for our people. And watch for events, which going to include the poker walk, the diabetic bingo, cooking demonstrations, cook-offs, and just going to be a fun-filled year with Nutrition Ed starting very soon.
Yeah, and at the Nutrition Ed, you guys have prizes, and I mean, it's a lot of fun there, and 12 noon on the 18th.
Yes, that's going to begin at 12 noon at the old gym. And we're going to have feature our tribal school singers. They're going to open our event, and it's going to be a lot of prizes and a lot of cooking demonstrations going on that day.
All right, and then what else is going on, Elaine?
We are starting our gardening application process for the year. We do have a garden application here. We're going to prioritize commodity food clients, TANF clients, diabetic prevention clients, and if you're a Lummi elder, just come on in and start filling out the application, and we'll get a garden going for your household.
All right, anything else to add, Frank?
We're just going to watch for our events and come and join us and have a good time, and we'll spread the word and just keep growing.
Yeah, to say, you know, the community really appreciates all the work you guys do, Elaine.
Appreciate everyone, too. We just love working with our community.